Let's talk police, shall we? Do you know what a PCSO is? A police community support officer. Have you seen this video doing the rounds today? Let's just get straight into it.
Right. You need to get around to the co-op. Honestly, there's just been a fight round there because people are trying to stop the shoplifters that you're doing nothing about. There's a member of the public just been assaulted by a 15-year-old girl who's drunk, had a drink thrown in her face, got punched. People have called the police. We come round here and you're sitting here.
I'm not responsible, unfortunately.
I know you're not, but the sight of the car will make them scatter.
Yeah, but then I have to deal with it.
And you're afraid to deal with it then?
That's not the point.
It kind of is the point. That's the perception.
It's not, which is why I'm here and not round there.
That's just cowardice.
No, it's not.
No, it is.
No, it's not.
I'm afraid it is.
Okay, well, we will take...
This is the whole reason these problems exist.
That was someone's dash cam, in case you was wondering what's going on there. A driver came across a copper, then asked him, there's a bit of a hoo-ha in co-op round corner, will he go and sort it out? He basically said, no, he wouldn't. It got me looking into all this whole thing, by the way. Do you know the difference between police officers and PCSOs and specials and all the rest of it? It's all quite complicated when you look into it. Let's just have a little look, if I can. Let's have a look. So, when it comes to, this is what I found quite interesting, Jo, looking at all the different powers that people have, whether or not you can arrest people, interview them, stop and search. So you have the police, you have the special constables and the PCSOs. So PCSOs, they are paid. That's what this chap was in that car. So they're paid officers. They cannot arrest people. They can't interview. They can't really go and investigate crimes, etc. They can do fixed penalty notices. They are paid. A special constable, I found this interesting. A special constable is a volunteer, so no payment, and they can arrest people and stuff like that. So very different powers for the volunteers versus the PCSOs. Anyway, the point of the story is, I'm asking tonight, do you think PCSOs are pointless?
Utterly. Completely and utterly. If they haven't got the powers, what the hell are they doing sitting in a uniform and sitting in a police car?
A presence, because
but
people
a presence
will say,
around the corner. And if they can't do anything or won't do anything, now, unfortunately, we couldn't hear what the police officer...
We subtitled it for you. He said he was a response. He said basically he's a non-response unit. He can't go deal with it. If he goes round there, he'll have to deal with it in a car.
I can't see that distant.
Oh, don't worry, it's
got me
yeah.
Anyway,
so
but yes, and Sussex Police have said they're investigating. I've never seen a PCSO where I live, and very rarely do I ever see a proper police officer. And actually, most of the time, we think it's usually because he or she is going to a fancy dress party. That's how irregularly you see people, you know, in a town that's full of visitors during the summer. I think this whole thing is utterly ridiculous. Obviously, we know there aren't enough police around. There aren't enough police officers. We know that they're tied up doing lots of other things. But we also know that the one thing that the public and businesses want is a visible police force. Well, a visible police force of somebody who is not going to investigate, you might as well have a cardboard cutout, because we've already got, you know, private security in shopping centres. You've got private security in other areas. You've got bouncers on nightclubs and sometimes restaurants. You've got enforcement officers who are employed by the local council who can do, you know, fines for dog poo, parking wardens, etc., etc. What is the point? Maybe there's somebody out there who's a PCSO.
Yeah, are you a PCSO at home? What do you make to it? Are you pointless? Are you needed? Or what? You tell me, Ben.
Well, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with everything you said, Jo.
Oh,
I think
sweetheart.
It could be the first time.
That's very cute. Should we record that? Should we record it and keep it for future reference?
Well, yeah, exactly. There was agreement once.
No, we have agreed on other things.
But no, wholeheartedly. I mean, I think if you've given a job that you can't actually discharge, and you've got all the trappings of the office, but none of the authority, I mean, it's pointless, isn't it? And it comes back to, you know, a failure in governance, doesn't it? You know, put someone in a uniform, put him in a panda car, actually make him a target, and then give him no authority to deal with the situation. And no doubt he's had all sorts of health and safety training on why he shouldn't get involved.
I don't understand why they're paid and the specials aren't.
Well, I found that very odd.
Because I thought the PCSOs were volunteers.
No, they are not. No. They are not. There's 8,750 PCSOs in England and Wales in 2022. They get paid, apparently, between £20,000 and £24,000. is what is available. Yeah. I mean, it takes a brave soul, actually, to volunteer to be... Why would you volunteer for that much hassle? I don't know. When you was talking about dog poo, by the way, I don't know why, it suddenly conjured up in my head, this image of white dog poo. Do you remember
White,
that?
yes.
Yeah, where's that gone? Random tangent, I do
Anyway.
admit. But